The Real Estate Commission rules are very clear. The law is very clear under agency that we can get paid by both the buyer and the seller when we are not dual agents. When we are dual agents, we cannot get paid by both the buyer and the seller. Well, now this was an interesting question because the agent, or the licensee, I should say, the licensee was acting as a transaction broker, and you may remember that a transaction broker does not have an agency relationship with either the buyer or the seller if he's working with both of them or either one individually. In other words, transaction broker really is a facilitator, helping someone through the process but not representing them. Doesn't get involved in negotiations, etc. Well, so I'm not sure about whether that was covered in the law, so I called Marianne Galena at the Real Estate Commission, she's in the legal department, and asked her. And her response was that if in fact they're a transaction broker and can prove that they're a transaction broker, then they would not be covered and could get paid by both the buyer and the seller. Very interesting. Most of us would have been a dual agent, but in this case, the broker acted as a transaction broker for both. Well, Marianne said they need to prove it. Well, the contract says that the broker is a transaction broker. So therefore, the assumption is he could prove it, and therefore he could be entitled to receiving compensation from both. Quite an unusual circumstance because most of us don't work as transaction brokers. So that's pretty good, and it is something worth knowing for the future.